friends, it's Q&A Friday. I'm Kath Luty, and as at the end of every week, I'm thrilled to be here today. Now, today's video, I believe, is the most important video I have made as yet. Now, this week's question was about how to find the right person to SEO your website, so how to choose the right SEO services. To make sure that you're going to get the results that you're looking for, since we all know what SEO services come at a price, and we probably all know someone who spent a heap of money and really didn't get the results they were promised. So that's this week's question. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have to turn this question on its head, and I have to talk to you about something that I call the traffic versus conversion concept. And the reason I'm doing that is because it is just the least talked about, most important thing you will learn about your online stuff, whether that's your website or your Facebook or your product shop, you know, your online, your e-commerce shop, whatever that is. This is something you need to know before you go out and spend a heap of money on SEO or on online advertising, whatever it is that you're using to push traffic to your website, okay? And the numbers that I'll share with you are just absolutely going to blow your mind. Now, I'm going to make it easy for me. I'm just going to take a snippet out of the webinar I ran yesterday and show you some mind-boggling stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's talk about this traffic versus conversion concept for a minute. Because everybody wants traffic, right? And that's why everybody sells traffic. And traffic comes at a price. So means of getting traffic, of course, is SEO, and you know search engine optimization service come at a price tag. You could use online advertising. A lot of you probably don't spend so much money on it right now, but I know that a heap of you are working away frantically on blogs and videos and social media, all to get traffic to your website. So you're either spending a lot of time on this or you're spending a lot of money on this right now. And I know everybody's doing it. And that's why probably 50% of the people who come to me, when I ask them what their biggest challenge is right now, they would say, well, I just don't get enough traffic to my website, okay? Now, whilst that may be true, what's even more important is what you're actually doing with your visitor, what your visitors actually doing, should I say, when they come to your website. And that's where conversion comes in. And I'm going to show you some really mind-boggling numbers right now to show you why this is so super important to understand this concept, traffic versus conversion. Okay, let's go. So say you have a $200 product or service, and say you're spending $100 on 100 visitors. Now I'm choosing these numbers because they're easy to deal with, but also it kind of makes sense. You could get 100 visitors to your website for $100, right? Quite easily. So $200 product, and you spend $100 to get 100 visitors to your website. Now, if you had a conversion rate of 1%, which you probably don't, to be honest, you probably won't know what your conversion rate is because 99% of business owners don't. But say you had a conversion rate of 1%, you're probably closer to 0.1% or something like that, but let's just assume 1%. Now, if your conversion rate was 1%, you would make a profit of $100 here, right? Because you have just sold a $200 product or service to one person out of the 100 that came to your website, okay? That's what it means to have 1% conversion rate, right? Okay, so your profit is $100 right now. Now let's have a look at what happens if you raise that conversion rate by just 1%, okay? Just one incy-wincy tiny percent. So you still have a $200 product or service that hasn't changed, and you're still spending the same amount of dollars to getting 100 visitors. But out of the 100 visitors, you now make 2 sales. And look at that. Your profit is now $300. So you just trebled your profit. Okay, so I'll say it again. You have a $200 product or service, you just sold 2 and invested the same, $100. So you sold 2, so you have a turnover of $400. You still spend $100, so you now have trebled your profit. You now made $300 profit. Okay, I think you got it now. But isn't that amazing? Just 1% conversion rate and you treble your profit. Now let's go out on a limb here and say you can take this even further. Say you can get a conversion rate of 6%. Now you're making 11 times the profit that you were making before. So for spending $100, you now get $1,100 back. Okay, so this concept is just the most powerful concept of all, okay? And if you are not making the sales that you are wanting to make right now, then this is where it's at, okay? So before, stop everything that you're doing right now, because I know that almost all your efforts are centered on getting traffic. What I'm saying to you right now is stop everything that you're doing, hold your breath for a minute, and work on your conversion rate. Once you know what your conversion rate is, and once you know how to increase it, well, you now know that for every $100 you spend, if your conversion rate is just 2%, well, you can make $300. For every single $100 you spend, you know you can turn them into $300. Okay, so let that sink in for a moment, but that's how important this is, okay? This concept gives you control, absolute control. So if you can raise your conversion rate, and if you know what that is, you'll always know what you have to spend to get that back, that dream amount back that you want. Okay, so here is the big question, of course. Just how do you increase your conversion rate? And that's what we're going to get into right now. Okay, so my puppy just needed a bit of attention. Look at her, she's sweet. Anyway, so I hope you got how important that concept is, right? Traffic versus conversion. I know it doesn't sound like much, but seriously, before you go out and spend a heap of time or a heap of money on getting traffic to your website, make sure you're converting that traffic. Make sure you know what you want visitors to do when they get there, because that will be different for each and every one of you. You might want people to leave their email address. You might want them to pick up the phone and call. You might want them to actually buy a product, okay? But whatever that is, if you're spending a heap of time and money on getting traffic right now and you're not getting the results that you want, look at your conversion rate first. Once you know what it is, you will know what to spend on getting the results that you do want, okay? Right, that was Q&A Friday this week, and I'll see you next week. Can't wait to see you then. Bye. Look at this puppy. Look at this puppy. Oh.